What's up, guys? Hey, check it out. Welcome to the Get Creative podcast. My name is Justin Tumanowski, and you are here listening to the wonderful world of creative finance and strategies. I have one of the best guests, Ashley Perez. Say what's up, please.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me, Justin.
Ashley, hey, you're with the Sub 2 community, right? That's
Yeah.
where we know you from.
Yeah, I've been Sub 2 since 2021.
So wait, hold on. I didn't know that too. I'm a 2021
I saw
alumni
that.
as well.
I
Love it.
did see that. Yeah. October 2021 is when I joined. And
All
then
right. So
actually wholesaled my first transaction in January.
dang, girl. Dope. We should have like balloons. I'm not going to send the balloons up on this video right now, but we should have some balloons. Hey, I was just with Kevin Show yesterday, and we just saw that our 2021, we signed a piece of paper. We signed a map for PACE, and we were just commemorating. We took pictures in front of it. We were telling the story about when we signed it, and he made a little thing of promise, and he promised himself to PACE that he was going to do all these, deals and do these things and follow the steps. And it's so funny that 3 years later, the consistency and the commitment that he put in obviously shows because he's still here and he's a pioneer in this community with us. And we got to reflect on that. It was actually a really special moment, but 2021, so dope. So happy for you. And we're so thankful for you being here.
Cool, thanks.
But enough of that. We're going to talk about, I don't know, you did some little deal. I think you did like a little mobile home or something. Or did we do some dope ass deal?
Dude, super dope, man. Super dope. Just right off the bat, I got this property for 1.1 in Florida with an as-is appraisal of $2 million on seller finance.
Oh, wait. So the appraisal came in right as is the day or prior to closing to 2.1?
No. So actually, he was marketing his appraisal that he got for the sale. So he had purchased to get an appraisal done for the property. He was marketing it. And so his business reports, the land value came in as is at 2 million. He actually wanted 1.3, but.
All right. So let's kick it off. Where is this deal and how did you find it? Give us a little bit of the backstory. We want to know. So for the listeners out there, shout out. How did you get this? Did you, sit there and, kick and scream and say, hey, these deals are too hard. I can't find them. And then magically something appeared. Catch us up to speed.
A little bit of magic.
Dang, girl, you got magic too? All right.
So this is in beautiful Florida on the West Coast near the Crystal Water Springs.
Okay.
So just an hour west of Orlando and about 45 minutes east of Crystal River. So just situated very nicely. And I found this deal. I had been driving for dollars. I had been dialing. I almost got to the point of mailers, which actually I think is going to be my next official form of outreach.
Girl, you're gonna have a part 2 because you just took a love language.
I know, bro. Your skill, your software. I know.
Yeah,
I'm so excited for it. Okay, so the magic is I get invested in RV parks because my brother-in-law had the money. You have to understand where I'm at in this timeline of mine. I needed capital for a property that I had bought in Fort Myers, my first one. And I got stuck as a newbie investor because as a business owner for the last 10 years, I've been a 1099. I can't get a conventional loan, properly. And I got stuck in a new build situation. I had bought a property that was 100 years old, thinking I'm going to rehab it. And it turned out that every contractor that walked through was like, no, this is a tear down. So I was like, all right, no problem. My other strategy was to put up 2 doors anyways, because it was rezoned for a duplex. Cool, put up a duplex. And then that's where I got stuck with getting approved. And it wasn't going to be my primary residence. So I wasn't house hacking it, I wasn't going to move there. So I was on the hunt for money, period. That was like a real tough point for me. And I didn't get that deal creatively, even though I tried. So now As I start, okay, let me figure out some ways to, find some I learn more about private money. And I had just finished going to, a course about it or a conference about it. I learned about it, how to, protect someone, answer the objections. Here's my brother-in-law who is also entrusting me on, being the experienced person in real estate. I had enough experience. I invested enough money in myself to know what a good market was, how to underwrite deals. I can do the work. So here he goes and he's like, I've got the money, but I want to be invested in RV parks. And what do you know about that? And I
So
was
why
like,
did he say that? Do you know, like, what was his?
so his reason was good cash on cash return. And I had been talking to him about how I wanted to move into the hospitality space. I wanted to get the boutique hotels. I wanted to get the bigger hotels.
Is that where you
And
came from? Some of
no,
that, like any of the hospitality?
yes, actually, that's
Yeah,
really cool that
I
you,
I picked that out really because that's not a normal reaction. That's not
mm,
a normal nuance that like not many people say, I'm gonna jump right into hospitality because that's what I do. That's like something I'm just gonna go bash my head against the wall with. And I'm gonna go manage people and deal with people and I'm gonna go meet a bunch of happy and not so happy people
yeah.
while they reside in my real estate.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's cool that you actually did bring that up. So my first job, well, I was in, the restaurants. Actually, my first business is in restaurant point of sale. And I also, throughout college, was a caterer. So we're hosting events, we're, putting on, decorating the tables and things like that. So I always like, and even for myself, my own personal events, I like hosting. I like people having a good time. And I've always wanted to provide that experience. Like I could just see myself doing that.
Great.
And so he was like, "What are you doing that for? For an ego? The big hotels?" I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah. Perez. Not yeah.
Not Hilton,
Not
not
Hilton,
not
Marriott.
Trump.
Yeah.
Right.
Perez. All right. I get it now. I get why these what do they call them? Hotel tiers or something like that.
Yeah.
That they must love that
Yeah.
branding.
Yeah.
But all right, all jokes aside, sorry guys. Fast forward like back to the story. So your brother-in-law, he's trusting when he had an inkling that he wanted to get into some RV parks. Great. All right. He obviously has a little bit of capital. There's one thing that popped in my mind, and I can go on for days with this, but there is an issue when we start, and I shouldn't say an issue, but there is a point when we start to get funds or receive funds. Usually it's family and friends are usually how a lot of us out there get our first Kickstarter. And for me, it was like my father, it was like a $50,000 lend a few times on some little fix and flips. And I may have done 50 from him and we may have put another 50 in ourselves. Great. Family money, perfect. Friends, family, great. But there comes a trust. There comes a little bit of backlash. There's a whole gamut of things that come with that. Naysayers. So, if you can touch briefly on a little bit of that, just for the audience, because I want to take this perspective as someone who's never done it before. But there's Ashley here, and she's a rock star, and she's made it through the weeds. She's cut all the forest down, and she's made it to the other side. So, yeah, elaborate a little bit on that. If there was any, uncertainties there.
Yeah, another awesome question by you, just Mr. Tumanowski. So definite naysayers, and I will say that when I first started in sales, I definitely had this stigma of like, oh my God, I'm going to ask my friends and family. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
And then with practicing on strangers. So, okay, I kind of avoided that at first because I did have that stigma. And then going out and practicing on strangers, it just kind of developed this callus of like, I'm going to shoot my shot. And what better person to help than my family?
Yeah.
you know, like, yeah. And so over the years, I have always wanted to pull my family in first. And I've also gone through the difficult conversations of firing family and friends
Mm-hmm.
now. So that's like the next level of working
That,
with family.
no doubt about it, guys. It's going to happen, and there's gonna be hard conversations. Not everyone's gonna get what we're doing.
Yeah.
Mindset thing.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm a firm believer in it now. And then with Lance, we we've worked together for the last 10 years. So there's also a working relationship there.
Right.
So he knows how I'll do things. He knows how, well, I'm going to make sure I feel confident in certain areas. So, and then, giving him the legal aspects of how this relationship was going to work, protecting him, securing that money, adding some other layers that you would do anyone.
Great. Absolutely.
And
We take care of those investors. Number one,
yeah,
communicate, take care of them. But
yeah. And I had also wholesaled. He was my first wholesale transaction. So
dang,
he
you
had,
sold the deal to him
I
too?
flipped this twice.
Dang. You know what?
Yo, he can't see this video. I don't know.
Give me that money and then I'm gonna come come get more.
I
Listen,
actually said that to him. I told him that when I sold his house, which we did it on sub two, that, I was gonna, now be able to use that, reinvest his cash and go into a better asset. So yeah, yeah,
but you
yeah,
know what the cool thing too, again, there's so many takeaways from this, but you found there's someone initially, and I know this happens a lot. Like I had one person that was buying a lot of my wholesale deals when I first broke into the business, aside from construction and doing my own burrs. The first wholesale deals were like almost one dude, and he's a partner of mine now. But it's like, hey, if the shoe fits, wear it. If he's a lender, if he's going to buy the deals, perfect. There comes a time when we broaden our horizons and we have to go out and actually find other buyers because that's just the name of the game. We have to. But
yeah.
at the end of the day, it comes to any market. There's like, you have 5 good buyers. He's one of 5. Perfect.
I'm
Perfect.
starting out, like I
Yeah.
need, like I'm looking for, the unconventional way, if you will, to get
Yeah.
things done. So actually, Lance is a partner on this RV park.
So,
That
all right.
was, yeah.
So Lance now, so you get Lance invests, Lance is a partner. Bring us to now, the deal came from where? And I think it was another community like related site. Was it Payson or it's
Yeah.
Abraham?
Yeah. Abraham Gray,
Yeah.
Carl Allen did, was doing the presentations, but I get sent to Dealmaker from Pace, you
Oh,
know?
no, I didn't know you went there.
Yeah.
So was that in New Jersey?
No, I went to the one that was in Orlando in January of
Okay,
2022.
because my boy Andrew Murray was at the New Jersey one, so that's why. All right, cool. Keep going.
Yeah, so that was the first event of the year that I, start now kind of like following Pace's, advice with other people to kind of turn to. And I go to the Dealmaker event and they're talking about the business acquisitions and how to find these things. But one of the websites was Biz Buy Sell. And I call it the loop net of businesses.
Yep. Go
Yeah,
nice. We're gonna
man.
treat this one nice. Abraham was my friend, and he was just here yesterday. No,
Yeah, no, he's
all
awesome.
jokes.
Yeah.
But all right, so it was on there, but obviously you got a deal.
Yeah.
You reach out to the seller. Did you make
Well, this was with a broker.
okay?
Reach out to the broker. I actually email him. He doesn't respond. I cycle back 30 days later.
Oh shucks, is that such a surprise,
I
guys?
know.
So what do we do? All right, lesson right here is, do we put the phone down and say, this person didn't answer the phone. They must not want to sell. It's sold. It's done. They don't like me. They don't want my
No, no,
no.
I cycled back. And it made it better for me because now you're sitting on the market 30 days
I
later.
know. Yeah, right. More pain. Love it. Guys, lesson right there. Lesson, do not, I wouldn't even wait 30 days, guys. Like
Yeah,
you hit it up weekly or every 15 days, whatever, but maybe she was doing other things. Perfect.
yeah.
So keep going.
And so they said, yes, it's still available. I said, great, I'd love to come see it. I saw it. And guys, I swear, not even when I visited this park. So it was my, just on the offering memorandum, things looked fantastic. Checked off my initial buy box for some of the things that I wanted in a park. Fit nicely in my purchase price. Acreage was there. Pads, not where I truly wanted to be, but comparable because it had
Hmm.
enough, acreage that I could expand into. And then value add I'd be able to bring to the business, with maybe what the rental price, the site rental prices were at compared to some of the other local ones. It had some cool amenities, a rec hall. So,
Cool.
anyways, I go visit. I promise you, I didn't even notice this because I think everything was, everybody was in their best behavior. Go home. Now I start digging deeper because I saw it, loved it.
Mm.
It's It's off the main road. So it's not like typical RV parks. It's down a back road about a mile in. It's covered with these beautiful oak trees, and it has this long driveway into the park with this gate that like opens up, and everybody who comes is like, yo, this is like Jurassic Park. Yeah. Yeah. So now I get home, I start digging deeper, looking at the website, where like some other areas that I can improve on, like what's their website like? Cool. And then I go to the pictures and I'm like, is that a man's ass?
Really?
And it was, I found out nowhere in the marketing material did it say that it was a men's only clothing optional park.
You bought a nudist camp, a men's nudist camp? Dang, I didn't know that one either.
I promise you, my immediate response was, did you know this? And I don't think I'm a buyer.
You did the pull away right away.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right, now that might be actually a good thing. You know, if there's, well, most investors would, you would think that they would see past that,
Mm.
but that's very unique. Okay. And I'm sure that the area also had probably a lot to say about this place.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to unpack there, which we won't do here, but okay. No pun intended with the packages, pack or unpack, but all right, back to you.
So whatever, I actually, go through inspection periods, a couple hurdles along the way. I almost not closing on this deal, just as more of what I unpack at the park. But I fall back on the numbers. I fall back on the opportunity, to acquire 26 acres in a beautiful area that I know that I can improve based on comparables. So I put the business hat on of this, and we move forward. And I secure through hard money $1.3 million to acquire the park, and then an additional 200 to do renovations. And I wanted to try to come out of this, 0% out of pocket. Not really $0. Sorry, 0%, $0, because like I put down EMD, I paid, paid for inspections. I'm considering flying my stepdad to move into the park manager's house. Like
Okay.
I'm here. Like I'm
Yeah.
invested. But
Skin in the game. Skin in the game,
exactly,
guys.
I've got my skin in the game.
Yeah.
But I was really trying to go for the grand slam.
Sure.
So before we close, I had brought up to the woman who brought me this hard money lender, and I said, listen, just want to let you know, or would they be opposed to bringing on a second lender? She says, I don't see why not, as long as you tell them about it. Okay, no problem. 3 days before closing, we tell them about it, throws off the whole thing for them.
Yep.
And they end up backing out 3 days before closing.
You always wonder. So now, all right, panic sets in, stress, the anxiety. But here's the thing. Tell me what deal does not have, and guys, I understand there's a couple of deals that go so smooth, right? And that's all about how you do it and who you do it. But there's things that are just, you cross your T's and you dot your I's. Ashley did the due diligence, asked the lenders. Listen, I've gotten bait and switch too with lenders several times. And the same thing. Are we good? We good? We're good. I'm going to do this, X, Y, Z. Boom, stonewalled. Sorry, some underwriter or some third party, because someone else didn't do their job potentially, now stonewalled you or, stuffed you at the goal line. But what's up? We do not quit, right? End of the day, we don't quit. So how did you persevere?
Asked for the extension right away, dropped the news, had the difficult conversation with the broker immediately. Actually, I tried to hold off at least 24 hours to see if there was some miracle that I'd be able to, do within the next 48. But time expired, time to talk to the broker, asked for the extension, had the difficult conversation with the seller. Okay, great. And then just bang the phones, man. Talk to anyone and everyone about this deal.
So good for you. I'm so happy to hear that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Holy moly. So, and if I can rewind just a little bit, just to give a perspective, I don't think I asked, what was the pain of the seller? Like, what was the reason for selling?
78-year-old man owned the business for the last 30 years. Just a lot of deferred maintenance. Just not going to keep it up anymore. Ready to retire.
Too many sunburns on his bum.
Way too many sunburns.
Way too many. Leather.
Yes.
So, all right. Now, cool. That was the pain. I get it. senior owner, tired landlord, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Perfect. Now, kick back on the story. Let's hear it.
Reached my first expiration of that extension
Yeah.
without being able to come through. And so needing to ask for another, just, you know, I had some hopeful ones in the barrel, you know, some that still needed enough more time, some that were like, listen, I don't know if we can close in like the next 7 days, but maybe if you give us the 14, you know, like some that seemed like opportunities. And as we started to get closer, we got that second extension, pulling teeth from this man. He was very, very upset.
Wow.
He had gone under contract on a home he absolutely wanted to get into. And if he wasn't going to get that home, then he was not going to sell the property. And then the broker remembered one of my first offers, which was a creative seller finance.
Ooh.
And he was like, do you think we can close seller finance if I go talk to him? I'm like, dude, go talk to him, man.
What are you
Well, when the initial offering included creative, both the broker, the accountant, and his lawyer were like, this is an amazing deal. You should just take this. He said he wanted to consider it, but then his old, you know, tired self, and the night that he was thinking about it, fell, got a big gash in his leg, and then was just decided he wanted to be done. He didn't want to like have any more ties to this property anymore. So then he took that off the table. So now fast forward, and you want that house, we can close. And with my brother-in-law's 220, and I did get a private money lender, straight private money lender, 12% interest, 12-month term, came from another community. Amy Missouri's, you know, raising private money, came from in there. She put 200 with a promissory note and, you know, named on the insurance.
Love it.
So
Okay.
yeah, so
And
we
the
closed.
seller goes, let's do it.
Seller goes, let's do it. We're on a 2-year term with him. Month 1 through 12 is at 7% interest. Month 13 to 24 goes to 10% interest. And then we have the option to extend after 2 years.
So your plan is to refinance
Correct.
in how long?
Well, 12 months. I am slightly behind schedule.
Hey, it's construction, right? And it's deals. Par for the course.
Yeah.
All right. We can get into that too a little bit later, but like, okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So you get
yeah.
the deal, you get the terms, you get the private money, sellers, you close.
Yep.
Now what?
Now it was a major takeover. Actually, I lost 60% of the park when I took it over. Stupid me, or I don't know. Maybe I should ask you this. What would you have done, man?
Oh, turning the
So
tables.
I am converting this now. I'm not a buyer of a men's only clothing optional. That's not me. The seller said, no, he knew change was coming. Okay. So he's not looking for a particular buyer. He's looking for any buyer. So when I come in, I felt it in my heart a week before we closed to host a town hall meeting and tell all of these people
There's a
that
female in the male. There's a female in the male's room, in the men's room.
that this is now going to be a family-friendly campground and clothing will be required.
Yeah, the brakes. I can hear the screeching of the brakes right now, like, and then I can hear the motors of the engines and the peeling out.
Dude, but it did not seem like it. People were like, oh, that sounds wonderful. Because I was talking about all of the other wonderful things. I had laid it on real thick with all the beautiful things that they would be getting before I slid in that news.
But here's what I would say, and I think I commend you for that. You know, that's being a people. We're in the people business too. So having a heart and having compassion and having, you know, doing that due diligence ahead of time also is going to save you a lot of property management potential nightmares. So I respect that tremendously. The one question I would ask myself, or I'd look at as the business plan and say, what is the business plan for this? What is the vision for that? And yes, you casted it's going to be family friendly and you're going to make it like super cute and do all the cool things and modern things. Great. But yeah, people don't like change, especially old nude men. So because they're doing their thing, whatever that is. Well, you know, you have to understand that's a unique situation. It's not even like you bought an RV park or a mobile home park or whatever park, and it was just like usually there's a brand on it. And friends of mine, Michelle and Patrick, they just did one in a couple in Missouri, and there was some drug addicts and there was some riffraff in one. And as soon as they came in, guess what? They brought a cop in, they brought a sheriff in, or whatever, and they new sheriffs in town. Those people were screeching out. They were gone in like days. So if it paints that picture of, change could be a good thing. People go, looks like the buck stops here, the free ride or the other ride, whatever it is, stops, you know?
Yeah.
So I get that. That's par for the course. But I guess what was your business plan? You're probably going to overhaul this place anyway, right? And there going to be some moving around, some folks going to be uprooted. So no doubt you would probably want to relocate a lot of those individuals, right? Or try to put them in a certain section of that park.
Yeah, I think that was a cool perspective you gave me that, you know, I'm just looking at it from the lens of this particular park that I bought, but you're absolutely right that so many other parks, deal with, similar riffraff, if you will. And
Mhm.
my approach to cleaning out that riffraff was to actually close down the park. I underwrote the deal to close down the park for the first like 2 weeks. And that was one of the announcements I made. And they were like, what's going to happen? What should we do? And I let them know that, I'd prorate their rent and things like that. But that was my way to kind of push some people out. And it just happened naturally.
Yeah, yeah, natural. It does. It just like the good and bad and everything, like the bad in all of our situations and things that happen to go, it just works itself out. It might take you 13 months, might take 3 years, but it works itself out.
Yeah.
So, all right, respect on that, having that family style meeting, or what do you call it? Town hall meeting. Love
Yeah.
it. All right.
Thanks.
So, and you know what? It probably saved you a lot of heartache and headache, but
Yeah.
revenue. So did the revenue hurt though? Is that
Yeah.
something you were?
Yes. Revenue hurt no matter what with me going through changing what this park was, because part of the revenue came from the activities that were going on there that I would no longer be continuing. And if I'm bringing in family friendly, a different type of clientele, there's also now going to be a different level of expectation
Yeah.
for what this park should be. And as a mother, like there are things that I would not, want to make sure were done properly. Um, and I accounted for this loss. I accounted for 8 months of a loss. And I'm thinking this more of like, this is kind of like a no equity situation, where, I don't have room here now, but with the improvements that I'm going to do to this property and for my intention to hold this, I will see the fruits of this, in the next 24 months
Yep.
for sure, because I'm now bringing in a bigger crowd. I've got a new website. I've got booking engines coming to this, pulling to my website that they didn't have before because they didn't
Yep.
want anybody to know.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. Behind the curtain, it was a secret, don't ask, don't tell type of things. Like, get it. That's old
Yeah.
school. That's where the value add comes into these scenarios, guys. The value add is when you come into somewhere and you go, ooh, there's a, I don't know, 20-acre parcel attached to this that I can do something with. Zoning looks good. Things look good. Perfect. You buy this multifamily. There's a walk-up attic that no one has touched for 70 years. Great. Put another unit up there if you can, or expand the floor plan. There are so many opportunities here. You just need to look. And especially when people say, this doesn't cash flow, this doesn't work, this deal does not work, dive into it. Ask somebody else, hey, I think there might be something here. Can you help me real quick? That's what our community does best. I know that for a fact. And I think you can attest to that. But all right. So let's keep going now, because for the sake of time and for our audience, and I don't want to shortchange you, because I actually want to, like, there should be a part 2 for this. Renovations. Just quickly go through, I guess, a few things that you're going to change. You're going to make it a family friendly park.
Yeah.
Great. With that being said, can you list off a few things that you're just
Yeah.
going to change or
Yeah,
add?
so, one of the things to improve an RV park, are the amenities. But one of those other things are alternate stays. It just allows you to increase your nightly rate for, providing an area for stay. So we're going to add some tiny cabins, not
Love it.
homes,
Hmm.
not anything that's going to be 900 square feet. We're talking like 400 square feet, like a
Yeah.
hotel room, right?
Yeah. Like a shed,
Um,
big shed, a she
exactly.
shed, not a man shed, a she shed.
Yeah,
Family.
exactly. It needs improvements in the bathroom and showers, needs new laundry, just needs to just be improved. It's got an office. I'd like to improve that space. Got a rec hall as well. We're just going to redo some rearranging in there, open it up, bring in, a couch, TV, have like a lounge, but then also it's got a kitchen so you can make some things inside of there.
Mhm.
It also came with another facility that they were using as a cafeteria, and it's a large enough space that we're going to divide it, make one side of it a gym, and then the other side a business center. Just table, two computers, printer.
Love it.
Go in that room, sit
Love it.
down.
Have a meeting, have a
Exactly.
whatever.
And then clear
Awesome.
up the grounds. It's got ponds. I'd like to add a pool. I might have trouble actually doing so. So if that's going to be the case, we've got some other ideas in mind, to bring a main attraction. We're going to close off two areas, one side for the kids' playground and one side for a dog park. Um,
Good.
so that's what we're going to do.
Kids, like a kids section or
Yeah.
great. All right. So good. So fast forward, what is the business plan now? Like, what does your 24 look like? What does your 25 look like? We understand that you're fully immersed into this.
Yeah.
And so what does 24 and 25 look like? So is there a projection for yourself? Like this park, we're going to go through it. We're going to go refinance probably with a DSCR loan. Is that the goal?
Or actually, I can get out my gosh, it slipped my mind. The business SBA loan.
Okay. Absolutely. Yes.
Maybe
SBA.
a little less of an interest. I don't know. I shall see. I actually have now started to, which maybe I'm going to get yelled at for this, but claim some more money on my tax returns, just so that I can show some, I don't know, income. I don't know. Maybe that's
Yeah.
not this route.
Well, guys, creative finance. And then let me recap too, because I don't think I touched base on this. Guys, she went for a cash deal. She raised private money. She was raising $1.3 million. Got stuffed at the goal line. She had mentioned creative finance prior to this broker, but the broker, for all intents and purposes, who knows what type of lob ball effort that's the problem. We have an intermediary that's trying to I guess, give, we're trying to repeat the terms that we're presenting. Sometimes it's like, get me in front of the seller. Let me have that conversation. You can be present. Just don't talk. You're going to get your check. All right. Don't worry. We're not going to cut you out of the deal. And it's for that reason. It's because we know creative at a high level and we know how to serve folks and how to actually construct it in a positive manner. So she gets stuffed at the goal line, guys, and lo and behold, guess who comes knocking? Mr. Creative Finance comes knocking. And isn't that so great? And I love it. And I think that works out so much better in your favor.
So much better, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, I was undering at more of a loss. I'm winning. I
Yeah.
actually am doing better every single month than I have anticipated myself to be doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The power of seller finance, the power of the seller taking the note,
Mm.
you having to come with less capital and then more to go out to deploy onto the asset itself and to improve that park and improve the things. It's just so magical. And I'm so happy for you. Like, that's so great.
Thanks, man.
And I didn't know that little twist in the story. And there's two little twists in the story. And I hope that like the producers of this, like emphasize on those, or I can come up with a funny name, I bet. But fast forward again, I want to get your 25 story again. I want to hear like, what does that 25 look like?
So 25 in the next 36 months for sure. I'm going to have 3 to 5 more in my portfolio before I scale out. Because like I said, I'd like to move into some other different asset classes, but I'd like to perfect this a couple more times. I think, I've already set up some processes and systems in place. I am excited I want to take my next level in the real estate business. So, because there is an acquisition part to this. So I'm really excited. I joined Owners Club. I don't know.
Word. Me too.
I know. It's, just looking for now, taking 2025, that kind of help and community, like what's that going to do for the real estate business?
So good. So if someone was out there that has like their uncle's RV park Where are you looking to purchase RV parks and or the like of?
Yeah, so
And
I'm looking in Florida. Florida's
okay,
a great market. It's all year round. And I am local. So if anybody has any RV parks and I open to even potentially partnering on those deals, am open to that idea if they're here in Florida.
so good, so good. All right, now if someone wanted to get a hold of you though, what do we do? Do we send a pigeon? Are we emailing? Are we gonna write a letter? What are we doing? Are we gonna find you at the men's only camp in the bathhouse?
River Oaks. It's called River Oaks right now.
Dope.
And right, now. But yeah, you can directly message me on social media at Ashley Perez Invests. I do have a formal email address, but that's just a bit longer. It's ashley.perez@fincaholdings.com. But you can connect with me either way, by email, by direct message, sub
Got it.
two.
Ashley is in the sub two community. Obviously, you heard it, and she's in a few other communities, but more importantly, the sub two community. Pace Morby, huge shout out.
Huge
That
shout out.
man, he's changed hundreds, thousands upon thousands of lives, and the impact is going to continue. This is just the beginning. So, respect to that, and I know that you gave that respect. So, I appreciate you giving love to that gentleman and also the community and other
Amen.
communities. Right? It's good to pay it forward. It's good to make sure we acknowledge those who help us along our
Yeah.
way. We're not too prideful to say thank you to anybody. So that's awesome. Well, Ashley, you said it all. You did it all. And
Thanks.
I can't wait to see you. Are you coming out to Arizona in June?
I am. Already got the flights.
Oh, dope. So I'm going to get to see you in person,
Yeah.
and I want to hear more about this. And then we'll probably tell some jokes on the side off of that, off of those, because I have more. And guys, thank you so much for listening to the Get Creative podcast. My name's Justin Tumanowski. You can find me at Real Estate Justin on IG, and then also it's going to be realestatejustin.me online. So this is there's a podcast coming out, guys, every day, and this is so cool. Like Pace is bringing all these community members in. We're going to get to meet cool folks like Ashley and hear their story and highlight their story. And we want you guys to like reach out to Ashley. If you got an RV park or you got some questions, you got some concerns, some things, she's going to be an expert in this industry very, very soon, if not like already creeping there. So get with it. Until then, guys, Get Creative Podcast. Listen to it. Love everybody. Ashley, thank you so much.
Thanks you. Thanks, guys.
Take care.
See ya.